Hi, welcome or welcome back to the kingdom. We are on my bed today if you're watching. Honestly, at this point, this is just like a promo for you guys to watch on on YouTube because I have gone through so much mental it's been a mental battle to get myself to record these visually because I know people have been asking. So now that they're being recorded visually, I would love for you to watch because that would be really cool and I'd be so happy. So, yes, we're on my bed. Shout out to the girl who commented on my first visual one where I was sitting in front of my closet door. And she told me that you don't have to like have a proper studio like everyone. You could just record it on your bed like you normally do when you weren't recording it visually because my biggest thing was that I was gonna have to like, get dressed up, make a podcast studio, make it look, like everybody else's podcast studio, super fancy. But I honestly just want to be in my bed and talk like I always do. And she was like, what's stopping you? Just record it. So if you're watching this, hi, this one is for you. I'm on my bed. Because one, I have COVID. I know, crazy. Not so crazy. I feel like I got it at a Super Bowl party that I went to last Sunday. So yeah, and I was so close to not recording. And I'm coughing, so I'm gonna have to be cutting this a lot because I'm coughing like pretty bad, and that's why I didn't want to do it. But we're in our year of unrest and hyperactivity. My friend told me it wasn't hyperactiveness. Hyperactivity. We're in our year of unrest and hyperactivity, and if we want our dreams to come true, we need to work even when we don't feel well. So here I am. I put a little blush on. I put some concealer. I put my Glossier lip gloss, which is honestly the best lip gloss I have ever encountered. And, I was like, I don't need to sit in front of a door to make it look like I have a studio. I could just do it from my bed, like the girl said. So thank you for saying that. That was very encouraging, and you're the reason I'm here today. You're the reason I'm here today, no joke. Welcome. I'm so sorry I didn't even welcome you into the kingdom before I went on my spiel, but what else is new? This always happens. Welcome back. Or welcome to the kingdom. If you're new here, I am so very happy to have ya. Um, I was gonna do a thing where I read what you guys are welcoming into the kingdom and exiling. I asked on my Instagram story like maybe a week or so ago. But I'm going to do that in the episode. I'm going to have one bonus episode a month where instead of me telling you what I'm welcoming, I read what you guys are welcoming. And then I also read like you guys' questions and advice and stuff like that. Kind of like a kingdom chat, if you will. Ooh, I just got goosebumps. I feel like that's going to be so fun. So, yes, that's kind of the gist of it. So, I'm excited for that. Right now, we're going to be going into what I'm welcoming into the kingdom and what I'm exiling. And I can't start this segment by recognizing the only artist I've been listening to this whole weekend. Shout out Dijon. I am obsessed, and because I'm obsessed, I'm going to play a song that I've been listening to him this whole weekend. It is called Alley Oop. We don't have to wait forever. And we can alley oop. My boots are alligator. And you're in a pretty white gown. Honeymoon, I wish you could see what I'm seeing and throwing rice and clapping for you. That is my favorite line of all. Like, maybe it's because I'm just feeling so in love lately. But when he says, I wish you could see what I'm seeing. They're throwing rice and they're clapping for you. And like, the song, when I first heard it, I thought that he was just like, asking his girl, like, do you want to get married? And I was like, oh my gosh, so cute, relatable. But then I got to the end of the song and he's like, I miss you bad. And I'm like, oh my gosh, they're not even together. They're not even together. So then I go listen to the whole song and he's just asking his girl, who I'm assuming they just broke up. He's like, how do you feel about getting married? Like, I miss you. Please marry me. What? And he's like, I wish you could see what I see. Like, they're throwing rice and they're clapping for you. Like, that's such a beautiful imagery. If you don't know some weddings, and I only knew about this when I came to America, but I don't know if they do this elsewhere. But like, when the couple is exiting the church or, wherever they got married, like, everyone throws rice at them. So it really, really touched my core. And I feel like listening to that, I listened to that song like maybe for an hour on loop yesterday. And I feel like it's not even enough. Like, I need to be in the song. I need the song inside. Like, we need to be one. I love that song. So that's what I've been welcoming into the kingdom recently is Dijon. His music is mostly love songs, which is why I feel good listening to it. Rarely any sad thing. Okay, sometimes sad, but most of it is about like his wife. He has a wife, I heard, and it's just so cute, and you could just feel like the raw emotion, and he just it touches your heart. So I couldn't do this segment justice without mentioning Dijon because he has been the highlight of my weekend. But I do this where I listen to just like one artist um for a segregated amount of time. And is that even like a right way to put that? I don't know. But yeah, listen to them for a little bit and then I like move on to the next. But for right now, I'm enjoying it. Another thing I just welcomed into the kingdom is my new rug. You guys are going to be seeing it on Instagram because I am obligated to post an Instagram post about this rug. But you know what? I don't care. I love it. And I'm just like happy to have been gifted this rug in an exchange for an Instagram post. Like that is worth it. Some things are just worth it. Like if a brand came to me and was like, hey, can you post these snacks I want to give you for free for an Instagram post, I'm going to say no. Or if they say, can you post this like pimple patch on your face in an exchange for an Instagram story? No, because I don't think that's worth it unless I'm being paid. Things that I think are worth it without getting paid, a rug. I wish you guys could feel this rug too. Like it wasn't like it's not a regular rug. Like I wish you could feel it. It's so thick and plush and just good quality. And it was like probably $400, $500, I'm assuming, or I believe. I had up to $1,000. I could purchase any rug on the site as long as it was below $1,000 in an exchange for an Instagram post. Like I think that's worth it. I think that is so worth an Instagram post. And It's beautiful and I love it. It just ties my room together. I feel like my room is is a little bit all over the place, but it kind of like represents me. And for some reason, because this rug is here, it's only amplified the feeling that I've always felt about this room, which is that it's like a stage room. Like, I wish you could see what I'm trying to like say. Like, this room, when I walk in it, it feels like it's staged. It feels like a room that would be on a set of a TV show. Exactly. It's like a room that would be on a set of a TV show. Like, it it is oh my gosh, everyone is so quiet. I feel like my neighbors are listening to me right now. But it's just like, it feels like a stage room. It feels like a room on set. It feels like a room that, is for Karen Adokora, but like you walk in and you be like, oh yeah, this room is just for her. Like, you could just tell this room is for her. Like, come on. It's a bit of me. The colors, the painting, I have some flowers. Like, it just looks like a movie set. It looks like I could become famous one day and I could recreate this movie. I mean, I could recreate this exact bedroom at a museum. Like, just put it together like a museum display. Yes, it feels like art. That's what I'm trying to get at. It feels like art. This room feels like art, and this rug just like amplify that feeling. It feels like I could just pick up all these pieces and put it in the middle of a museum, plain black walls, and people could just walk by like an exhibit, like an exhibition. You know, it's art. It's an exhibition. It's it's like a caricature. You know, I love it. It doesn't even feel like I live in here. It just feels like I just walking into a set and I'm like, oh yeah, this is my room. This is like my play. It's like a playroom, like it would be like in a Barbie doll house or something. It's cute. I love it. I really do. And this rug just like tied it together. It makes me fall in love with the room more. And I'm just so happy. Like, I'm happy that this is my first New York City bedroom. At first, I thought that this room looked way too much like my dorm room, but now I've made a good amount of like adjustments in here where it doesn't feel like my dorm room anymore. It feels like my actual room, and it looks like an exhibition, and I like it. Maybe one day I'll put it on display. Maybe one day I'll open up the doors of my apartment and let everybody walking into this room and, walk around back. And I'll be like, yes, this pillow represents my forefathers or something like that. Yeah. Okay, so my new rug I'm welcoming. I'm welcoming lots of tea and honey. If you're watching on video, you will see my little teacup right here. This is what has been helping me through COVID. I don't know why I have COVID again. It's really mind-boggling. Like, I haven't caught a break since I came back from Ghana, which is making me think really hard about something right now. And I won't say it till I do it, but just it's making me think really hard. So I've been drinking lots of tea and honey, and I haven't stopped coughing for 3 weeks. It's really annoying. It takes a lot of energy. My abs like hurt. Like my abs are sore, and not from a workout, just from coughing. Because when you cough, you're like clenching your stomach. You're clenching your core when you cough. And I've coughed so much. I've been coughing nonstop for the past 3 weeks. And luckily I got my voice back, but I'm still coughing. And the cough died down from like the first virus I caught when I first landed from Ghana. And it died down. I was getting better. Then boom, COVID, another virus. So now my abs are sore because I've been coughing so much. So tea and honey has been helping me. I was really sleeping on tea, honestly. I'm not gonna lie, I was sleeping on tea. I remember I was hanging out with a boy once, and we went to a grocery store, and he was like shopping for something, and he picked out like a box of tea, and I was like, oh, you drink tea? Kind of like, I wasn't making fun of him because I wasn't making fun of tea, but I was like, in my head, I was like, who like willingly drinks tea? And now I'm consuming like 3 cups of tea a day. So, he was onto something. Yeah. Another thing I'm welcoming, and now this is going to be 4 things, but that's okay. I normally do 3. Or actually, no, I normally do 5. So this is right on par. My neighborhood flan. I was on the phone with Victor. Some of you know Victor. If you're new here, you probably don't know Victor, but Victor is one of my BFFs. I was on the phone with him maybe like a couple days ago, and I was like, after this, I'm going to go walk and get myself some flan because I'm not having a good day and I want to eat some flan. And he was like, oh, walk to get flan? New York City sounds so nice. And I was like, you know what? Honestly, it is. There's a Colombian cafe 3 minutes down the street from me. And I just go and I get a slice of flan. Like once in a while, whenever I walk by. There's also a grocery store right next to it. So sometimes when I go get groceries, I'm coming back. I'm like, oh, let me stop by, get myself a piece of flan. It's so nice. The lady knows me now. I walk in, she just knows I'm here for a slice of flan. But here's what I'm annoyed by. Every time I walk in, it's a different price every time. The first time I got flan, and I vividly remember this, if you buy something under $10, they only accept cash. So I went to go get the flan, and it was $4.10. And I only had like $4 bills with me, right? I only had $4 bills with me. So I give her the $4 and it's like left with 10 cents. And she just was like looking at me, and I'm like, girl, if you don't give me this flan right now, it's literally 10 cents. Like, just give me the flan. But she wouldn't. So me and I are like staring at each other. 'Cause I'm not leaving without my flan. I know there's 10 cents left, but like, you can't let me go. You can't give me this flan because I don't have 10 cents. It was ridiculous. So I'm standing there looking at her. She's standing there looking at me. We're both unwilling to budge. And then some random guy, bless his heart, asks her, how much does she owe? And she said 10 cents, and he just gave it to him. He just gave it to her. And I was like, oh, thank you so much. That was so kind of you. And I got my flan and I left, and that left a bad taste in my mouth. I was like, but then I had the flan and it was so good. Mind you, it was my first time. But the flan was so good that like I was willing to, let the attitude. It wasn't attitude. Why am I feeling so entitled? I owed her 10 cents, She has the right to not give me the flan if I don't have the 10 cents. She doesn't owe me anything. But then I ate the flan and it was amazing, so I had to go back for more. The next time I went, it was $4.25. I was like, no, it was $4.10. I didn't say anything. I paid. Next time I go, $4.46. I'm like, okay, what's going on? Is it that I never remember the price of the flan, or that she keep changing it on me? And I finally got my answer. Why did I say like that? I finally got my answer. Let's see, like 3 days ago, when I went to get flan, and she had the nerve to look at me and say $5.44. That's when I drew the line. I said, I had enough, because I only had $5 with me. Because I am thinking the flan is going to be for something, I never know exactly what's going to come after the 4, but I just know it's going to start with 4. So I brought $5, a $5 bill. I was not prepared for $5 and something. I just wasn't. So I looked at her, I said, the last time I came, it was $4 and something. She's like, oh, my boss increased the price because it was blah, blah, blah. I'm like, well, I only have $5. And she took it. And I just was so shocked, because I'm like, you weren't willing to let me go when I didn't have 10 cents. And now I don't have 44 cents. You want to let it go. I mean, I guess it's a whole dollar more from what I was giving her the first time, but yeah, anyway. I love my neighborhood flan spot. I love that it's easily accessible. I love that it's next to the grocery store. But I don't like that they keep changing the price on me. And that's all. Okay, thanks. I'm exiling. I need to be able to keep these segments short because like this segment always eats up like half the podcast. And I don't know if you guys enjoy it. Let me know. Are you guys like, okay, enough? Like, let's get into the meat of the episode. Well, I'm here to tell you that there is no meat of the episode. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, things I'm exiling. One, the wrong choices. I'm going to get into it in a couple minutes, but I'm exiling the wrong choice. I'm exiling the wrong choices, and I'm going to explain a bit more. Second thing, I'm exiling eating out. I know. I just said I'm welcoming my neighborhood flan spot. And now I just said I'm exiling eating out. Listen, a piece of flan is different from ordering from DoorDash 4 times a week. It just is. So, yeah, eating out. I'm about to step into a season of my life where being intentional with where my money goes, being attentive, caring about my money, stewarding my finances well. I'm getting into that point in my life. I'm growing and I need to stop being so like la di da di da about my money and like, actually caring about it. Oh my gosh, I think I need water. Okay, I'm back. All right, I was having a cough attack. So I just need to be careful about not spending a lot of money. And yeah. And the third thing I'm exiling from the kingdom is forgiving and not forgetting. Like, I always say that I've forgiven a person, but then I'm always bringing up what they did. For example, my boyfriend, I will say that I'm over something and then I'll text him like at 2 a.m. Remember when you did this and this and this? Actually, 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 I haven't forgotten and I hated it. And he's like, that was 6 months ago. And he never brings up anything I do because I don't do anything. I'm perfect. He has no reason to get mad at me ever. But I have a lot of reason to get mad at him. And I don't know if it's just like boys just don't say when things bother them. But like the way he acts, like I feel like I'm a perfect girlfriend. And he doesn't complain about anything, really. But I need to learn. And just like, I bring something up, we solve it. I let it go. Don't keep bringing it up. Don't keep bringing it up because that's not true forgiveness. God didn't say like forgive the person and then bring it up the next time you think about it. Like forgive and let go. Forgiving means not bringing it up again. Some of y'all need to hear that because you think you're forgiving them. But then if you bring it up again the next time you have an argument or, something, that's not really forgiveness. And also, the Bible says that love keeps no record of wrongs. So if you are keeping a record of wrongs and then saying that you've forgiven someone, then that's not really love, is it, my love? Okay, that is the end of the segment. Let's cue some Dijon. Nice. So, like I said earlier, I was very close to not recording this podcast because I, wanted to use the excuse that I have COVID. Because if that isn't the excuse, of all time recently. I don't know what it is. You can get out of anything by saying you have COVID. It's like completely acceptable. Nobody will ask you if it's true. Nobody will ask you. By the way, it's true. I have my COVID test right here, lifting it up to the camera. I've had this on my nightstand for like a week now. I haven't thrown it away because I think it's cute, you know? It's kind of like like it looks like an artifact. And I already said earlier that my room is like an exhibition. So if you walked into my room, like if my room was in a museum right now, and they were like, you know, Adakora's bedroom, circa 2023, this would be on my nightstand. It's a COVID test. So yeah. Anyway, no one will ask you if it's true. No one will press you about it, and you're exempt from everything for like a week. Having it is really bad, but being able to say that you have it to get out of something is really fun. Yeah, back to my point. I wanted to use, COVID as an excuse and my coughing as an excuse to not record. And if you haven't heard one cough, it's because I've cut it all out, but I generally just had a coughing attack. Um, but I was on the phone with Darren from Just Different, and we were just talking about my podcast, and he was like, you're really good, but you're not consistent. And I was like, I know. And I was like, you know what? I will have an episode every single week for the rest of the year. I told him that. And then the next week I get COVID, and I'm like, you know what? Sorry, guys. No episode this week. And then I thought to myself, no, that's not what I promised. I need to be able to show up no matter what. So I'm going to feel good about this, first of all, because I did something that was hard. It wasn't really hard, but I pushed myself to do something even though I feel not, completely good. And I'm proud of myself. But this leads me to the point. And I kind of got clarity on something. Something when it comes to the topic of discipline and doing things you don't want to. And just being a woman or a man of your word. Like sticking to what you say, sticking to the agenda. Oh my gosh. I got so scared. I was like, wait, am I recording? Okay. Anyway, yeah, I got some clarity on something. And this clarity came from a 1 a.m. text to my boyfriend about something. Like, I just basically tried to pick a fight. I don't know why I do this. Maybe I'm sick. Maybe it's because this is post-menstrual cycle. But I just texted him, which is why I said I'm exiling that, you know what I mean? But I texted him about something, we talk about it. Didn't end up in a fight because he's a gentleman and he knows how to skirt whenever I'm trying to pick a fight. He just knows how to dodge the blows and keep it pushing. God bless his heart. But we landed on the topic. He was like, actually, there's something you've been doing that's bothering me a lot. And I was like, oh, really? What is it? Because I am perfect. I don't do anything wrong. And he says, you never do what you say you're gonna do. At least not never, but this week you haven't been doing anything you said you were gonna do. Because there's a couple emails I have to send. There's some pitches. I want to pitch this podcast, I'm trying to grow. I want to pitch this podcast out to brands, to networks, to stuff. And I haven't been doing that. I've been doing everything that nothing I said I was going to do, I've done. Except a couple of things. So he was like, that's what's bothering me about you. And I was like, ouch, mind your business, first of all. Second of all, I've had COVID this entire week. I'm literally sick. I feel so sick. Um, 3, I've been working. Like, I have a full-time job. I don't have time for any of this. And he's like, yes, you have time, but the time that you have, you're on your phone. And you guys caught a glimpse of this conversation in the Valentine's Day episode where he talked about his screen time being like an hour and 30 minutes. Yesterday, his screen time was like 51 minutes. And I don't get it. I really don't know how. But anyway, he is a man of his word. Like, I've never met a man who just does what they say they're going to do so well. He does everything he says he's going to do. It puts me to shame, honestly. And I want to learn from him. So I was like, okay, well, how do you do it? Like, how do you just say you're going to do something and you do it? Like, that's just so hard. And I was thinking about it in a way that I was thinking, like, I'm not the kind of person that can just do something, like just say they're going to do something and do it. Like, that's not who I am. It's not in my blood. It's not in my DNA. I don't know how to be that person. And he was like, you don't have to be any kind of person. You just have to make the right choices. When you're presented with 2 things, pick the right one. And I was like, oh my gosh. It has never been so simplified for me ever in my life. I've read Atomic Habits. I've listened to, like, I kid you not, 30 podcasts about habits and discipline and motivation and being a go-getter. Lucas has listened to none. Lucas has read no self-help book. He's listened to no podcast about discipline. Maybe he has, I don't know. But, he doesn't read self-help books. He doesn't, like, he just does it. And I was like, how? Because I've been trying to do it, and it's just so hard to just get up in the morning, get up the time you say you're going to get up, exercise, get off the TikTok. Like, it's really hard for me. And he was like, it doesn't take any special kind of person to do, these things. You just have to pick the right choice when presented with 2. And in life, I feel like almost everything is like 2 choices. It's kind of like the angel and the devil on your shoulder. Because when the alarm rings at 6 in the morning for me, I can decide to get up or go back to sleep. And in the beginning, I felt like, I'm like, Lucas, you always wake up at 5 a.m. How? You always wake up right when you say you're going to wake up. Like, I say I'm going to wake up at this time and I don't wake up. Like, how do you do it? And he's like, just do it. And I thought, okay, I'm not that kind of person. I was like, all right, he's just different. He's just a different, special human being. And that is an unattainable quality. I cannot be that type of person who does that. I'm just going to work, procrastinate, get it all done in like an hour. And then, this is how I spend my time. Everything is scattered. There's no set rigid routine. I just do whatever I want. And then when it really comes down to it, and I'm like, oh shoot, I need to do this, I'll do it all. I'll sit down and do it all. But like, I don't like work like that. So I'm thinking like, I'm just not like him. I can never be like him. And then he was like, no, it's not any special kind of skill or anything. It's just choosing the right choice out of the 2 that are presented to you every day. So here's how I've been applying it. Yesterday I woke up and I could either go on my phone or pick up my Bible. This is when normally I just go on my phone for a little bit. A little bit will turn into an hour will turn into 2. And I will be picking up my Bible maybe 3 hours after I woke up. Obviously that's not what I want to do. I don't want to be consumed with the world before I'm consumed with the word, bars. I want to be consumed with the word before I'm consumed with the world. So I was like, phone, Bible. Phone looks very tempting right now. I know there's some good, juicy stuff right in the morning. I was like, nope, Bible. Right choice. Pilates or no Pilates? I haven't picked out my Pilates mat in so long. But I said, you know what? Yes, Pilates. Right choice. Make myself a cup of tea or go back to bed. Make myself a cup of tea. Right choice. Do my laundry or just like wait till tomorrow. Do my laundry. Right choice. Lay my bed, make my bed in the morning and sweep my room, or ignore it. Make my bed and sweep my room. Right choice. It's just choose the right one. And I don't know why it was never like that simple for me. But when he really like explained it to me on the phone call the night before, where he was like, just choose the right one. And sometimes you will mess up, but try your best to choose the right one. I was like, wow, I actually understand it now. Like, it's never been that simple for me, but now I get it. And now I've been applying it. So when I was in here and I'm thinking, oh, I don't want to film an episode, I'm just going to skip a week like I normally do whenever a slight inconvenience comes up. I was like, no, pick up, put a little bit of makeup, some blush on, pull out your camera, record. Right choice. You know? Right choice. When I feel like I've been on TikTok a little bit too long, I'm like, I could keep going or I could get off. I got off. Right choice. You always almost know the right thing to do in an instant. Choose it. And I know it's easier said than done, but really thinking about it that way really helped me. It's been helping me for the past 2 days. I know it's not been that long, but it really has been helping me. And it was such a relief to know that it doesn't take like any special gene, or you don't have to be born with discipline. You don't have to be, it doesn't have to be like innate. Everybody struggles with discipline. It's just kind of like a muscle that you have to work at. And if you normally keep choosing the right choice, you will normally start becoming like a disciplined person, because you're choosing the right thing all the time, and it becomes easier for you to choose the right thing. And it'll get to a point where the wrong choice doesn't even sound appetizing to you. Like, stay in bed an extra hour? No. Just kidding. I don't know if I'll ever say that. But you know what I mean? Like, the wrong choice starts to become unattractive to you because you've been the right choice person all along. So become a right choice person. This is what this podcast is mainly about, is becoming the right choice person. Becoming the right choice person. So, yeah, I'm hoping that you take this into the rest of the week, into the rest of the month, into the rest of the year. And I hope it's a relief for you as much as it was a relief for me to know that I'm not like someone who's just destined to be lazy and unmotivated for the rest of my life, and that it could just be simple. It could be simplified. It's like right or wrong, pick the right one. And it depends on, like at what point or stage in your life something that could be a right choice could become a wrong choice later in life. You never know. So it just kind of depends on what your goals are in this current moment. Is it going to lead you there? That's the right choice. If it's going to take you further, then obviously that's the wrong choice. So just look at it like that. And it was really like, such a relief to know that I don't have to be I don't have to change. Like, I was thinking like I have to become this disciplined guru. Like, I have to just like change and just be, I have to morph into this person that's just like a superhuman that is disciplined all the time. And it was like, no, like it takes anybody to be disciplined. You just have to break it down into two, right or wrong, and then pick the right one. And that's what's been helping me lately. Example, read the book that's been on your bedside table before going to bed, or be on TikTok before going to bed. Pick the right one, ladies and gentlemen. And yeah. And with that being said, in light of right and wrong choices, I'm currently debating between a right and wrong choice, a really big right and wrong choice. And whether I do or don't, I think you'll find out. But I'm leaning towards doing, and I'm thinking this is the right choice, but it could be the wrong choice for anybody if they are on the outside looking in. But I feel like it's the right choice. My family feels like it's the right choice. Everyone I've spoken to is like, yeah. And, my friend told me this morning, I was on the phone. She was like, I told her about this, and she was like, just trust your gut. And I was like, yeah, trust your gut, because God is in me, and I feel like God speaks to me. So like, I'm just going to trust that he's placed this in me, and you'll know about it very soon. But yeah, it's very risky. It's very risky, but I think it's the right choice. So yeah, become a right choice person. I hate that I just teased you guys with something, but I'm sorry. I'm an influencer. I can't help it. This is what we do. Okay, I'm going to leave on this last note. Let's play a little bit of Dijon before we get into this last little thing I'm about to talk about. Good, I wish you could teach me. I hold my breath and touch the bottom of the lake. I swear I stay forever if you ask me to. But I wish that you could. Okay. I came across a TikTok today of Joshua Bassett. If you guys don't know who Joshua Bassett is, he is pretty famous and not my age, but 16, 17-year-old. If you know Olivia Rodrigo, she made a song about him, and it was the whole driver's license drama with Olivia Rodrigo and Sabrina Carpenter, and they were not fighting over a man, but it was over him. So I've known of his name. I never really looked into him, but I came across a TikTok of him basically being saved and proclaiming the name of Jesus, which was so cool to me. So cool to me. I was so happy to see that. It brought me so much joy and peace and happiness and love, and it just made me so happy because I was just imagining me at 16 when I used to die over Justin Bieber, and just imagining, I know he's not Justin Bieber level at all, but he's kind of girls fangirl over him. Imagine if I was 14, 15 and I really had a Justin Bieber fan account for years, and he just randomly was Jesus is the way and the truth and the life. That would have impacted me a lot. And he just came out and was he got baptized. He started talking about Jesus really out of nowhere. And he just threw a free worship concert last night. And I really hope he does one in New York City. It was in LA. But it was so beautiful. It almost made me cry. It was so beautiful. And with seeing that on top of Brandon Lake proclaiming Jesus at the Grammys, I love Brandon Lake. Of course he would be the one to do that. He's so good. He's so good. He's such a good person. I love him. And the revival at Asbury, Kentucky, I've been seeing this thing about this revival, which it's been for a week straight nonstop. There's been people gathered at this college church, just praying and worshiping and testifying for a whole week straight. It's beautiful to see. I'm seeing all of these things, and it's really making me think that, like, wow, God is about to go viral if he hasn't already. And he is already viral, but like, God is really, really going to become very, there's a revival happening. I'm not gonna lie. Like, it's beautiful. Like, all the comments on the Joshua Bassett's TikToks, like, I saw some that were like, why is this low key making me want to go to church? Like, he's singing to his fans that love his music, but now he's like throwing free worship concerts. And obviously they're like, oh my gosh, Joshua Bassett. So they're going to want to go see him live because it's free. But then he's worshiping. And all those people who haven't been exposed to Jesus are going to be exposed to it through him. And it makes me so excited. But with that being said, I can't help but think about this topic that I've wanted to make a podcast about for so long, but I haven't really sat down to do a deep dive on it. So I am like, could I talk about it for an hour? I don't know. But it's Christianity and meme culture. And revival is happening, and I love it, and it's amazing, and I'm so happy to see that God is being introduced to people a lot lately. Jesus is being introduced to a lot of people lately, but it's making me think about Christianity and meme culture. And this is something I was thinking about a lot last fall, and it's been on my podcast topic list for a while. I just like haven't really sat down, and I don't know if I'll be able to talk about it for an hour. Maybe I will. Maybe I'll actually do a full episode on it. But with God and Jesus being, since I have a feeling it's going to start becoming more mainstream now, and being Christian is going to become so cool. And not just like a little bit Christian, but like full on Jesus freak Christian is going to become so cool. I know, because I'm seeing it already happen, that there's also going to be a different side of it where it's already been happening, where God or Christianity is like, you won't be able to tell if someone is joking or not. And I will tell you why. There's a meme account on Instagram called I Need God Every Moment of My Life. And when I saw this page, I was like, oh my gosh, slay. I love this page. Like, I've never seen a meme page for Jesus. And you're going to think, meme and Jesus, do those correlate? I don't know, but I was happy to see it. And so I followed it. And every post, I couldn't tell if they were joking or not. And it started to really bother me because I genuinely felt like I need God every moment of my life. Like, I felt this username. I felt what they were about. I really liked their post. But on all the comments, I couldn't tell if these people were real Christians or not. And it was really bothering me that I had to unfollow the page because I'm like, wait, maybe they're making fun of God and I don't know. Because it's borderline making fun of God. It's borderline making fun of Christianity. It's borderline making fun of Christians. But like, it was so funny because everything that they were posting was like extreme feelings about Jesus. But I was taking that literally. I was like, yeah, word. Like, I feel you. But then everybody was like laughing under the comments. And I was like, do these people like, are these people that are following this account, do they actually think that they need God every moment of their life? Or is this some sort of joke to them? And I just couldn't tell if the owners of this page were actually Christian or not. And sometimes they would post about like weed and drugs. And I was like, okay, like, I don't know. Something is happening about this. I don't know. So I'm just going to unfollow it. So I did. But then I started seeing more of this kind of like, I called it cosplaying Christianity, where it's kind of like a costume, like a joke, it's kind of like they're cosplaying. For example, this brand called Praying, and they have the bikini that says God on one boob, Father on another boob, and Holy Spirit on the bikini bottom, like right in front of the vagina area. And I was like, why would anybody wear that? Because first, when I saw this brand, it's called Praying, I was like, oh, sick. There's a brand called Praying. I love it. And then I saw that they had a purse that said God's favorite. And I was like, oh, I love that too. Like, I want to buy this purse. I feel like I'm God's favorite. But then I saw people who weren't really living like Christians. Like, all the people that follow this brand, all the people that are wearing this God's favorite purse are not necessarily Christians. So I was like, what God are you talking about? And then they released the God, Father, Son, Holy Spirit bikini. And I was like, okay. Something's going on. I had to unfollow. Like, every time I think something is genuinely Christian, they're not. They're like just joking about it. And it really bothers me. And then there's this other brand. And I think it's popular. And I really love this brand. So I'm gonna say it. And I love this brand, okay? I really do. Basket Case Gallery. They're very cool, like edgy, like streetwear. A lot of streetwear people love Basket Case Gallery, and I do too. I love them. I feel like they have really cool pieces. But they released like a Jesus something. Like, they have like crosses on their stuff, and then they'll have like Jesus on their stuff, other stuff, which I think is really sick. I think is cool. But one day they had a pop-up in New York City, and I went, and I was asking like the girl in charge. I was like, oh, like, are you guys Christian? And she like looked at me with the weirdest stank face. And I don't know if she really was running the brand. Maybe the owner of the brand is Christian, and maybe she was just like hired to like work at the pop-up. But I thought she was part of the team, some way, somehow. And she just like looked at me she gave me the weirdest look when I said that, and was like, no. And I was like, oh, sorry, my bad. And I just kind of like walked away because I was a little bit embarrassed. But I was excited because that was when I was kind of like starting Debt to Self. And I was like, oh, sick. Christian clothing brand. Me being so naive, thinking Basket Case Gallery is a Christian clothing brand, because they would have like hints of Jesus everywhere. So I was like, oh, like, are you guys? I got excited. I wanted to talk to her more about how incorporating Jesus, incorporating Christianity with streetwear being different, blah blah. And she just gave me the most repulsive look ever. So I walked away, and I went back and I told Lucas, I was like, I don't think they're Christian. See why that bothers me? That bothers me. Like, and I'm still going to say that maybe someone in the team is Christian and just like keeps putting like Christian stuff everywhere. But you could see why that is bothersome, because there's all these people, meme pages, brands that are just using Jesus and Christianity as like a costume, and they're like, it's just like fun, and it's just like, oh, a fun little cool thing that they just can just like put everywhere and not really mean it. And I don't like it. So I actually discovered an Essence article when I was doing my deep dive. I wasn't really doing a deep dive, but I kind of was like looking around the internet to see if anybody is talking about the fact that God is being used as like meme. Like, people are cosplaying Christianity these days. Is everybody peeping this, or is it just me? I found this article on Essence, one of my favorite websites to read. And I'm just going to read like the little blurb that they have before the actual article. I'll link the article down in the show notes and on the YouTube description. You guys could read it. I also don't even like this article actually, because when I first found it, I was like, finally, someone is talking about it. But then the artist, I'll just link it. You can read it for yourself. But basically, nobody is truly Christian. That's what I'm saying. Like, I saw this article and I'm like, nice. A Christian is talking about this. No, no one is really Christian. I guess no one is Christian the way I'm Christian. No one really means it, I think. Or I don't know. Maybe people have their own definition or the way they want to live. They want to live their Christianity, which is fine. But it just kind of hurts me that I feel like nobody's really taking, not nobody, because I know some of you who are listening to me really love God and love Jesus. And I know a lot of people who do. But I think like in the mainstream culture, a lot of people are using Christianity and God as kind of like, I don't even know the word for it. It's just like, is it like a niche? Is it like, I don't know, like kind of like a sticker that they're just posting, stamping on things and not really meaning it. And it's kind of like a fun little hobby for them. And it rubs me the wrong way. So I'm going to read you this little excerpt from the article and you can read it. But the article provided me no comfort whatsoever. Comfort can only be found through Christ. So read it at your own pleasure. I just love reading articles. So I did read it and I thought it was interesting, but it didn't really give me the consensus that I was looking for. Let's read it. It says, well, the title of the article says, like a prayer, searching for spirit in 2022. The excerpt starts this way. God is everywhere these days, worshipped by Ye's monochromatically clad Sunday service choir, flaunted on viral streetwear like I met God, she's black sweatshirts, sold by a self-described Jewish atheist, and Father, Son, Holy Spirit bikinis from the design duo Praying. One believes in God, the other doesn't. Oh, okay. So Praying, the brand I was talking about earlier, I guess they're a duo and one believes in God and one doesn't. That's really cool. That's interesting. COVID lockdown inspired a lot of soul searching, but not just the reading of self-help books and sharing of pseudotherapy memes. I was used to people exploring nebulous post-doctrine spirituality, things like the higher power they talk about in AA meetings. But this was different. Peers who I didn't totally expect it from started seeking, like, the salvation of their souls. Club kids with whom I'd ritualistically shared lines of Calvin Klein in crowded bathrooms at closing time were announcing that they were Catholic now. It was hard to tell who in the avant-garde had gone full evangelical or who was just trolling or maybe looking for a rebrand. End of excerpt. And I think this little excerpt that's what really drew me into the article and made me want to read. It's a very long article. But it kind of like, was like, yes, someone's talking about this. I've been thinking about this for so long. Are people being genuine or are they just trolling? So yeah, it's really weird. A part of me is like, I'm cool that God is at least being talked about, but would I rather him be not talked about at all, or him like talked about kind of like haphazardly, kind of like, look at me, cool, fun, I'm wearing a Father, Son, Holy Spirit bikini, or just like not talk about God at all. I don't know. Like, I'm like, okay, maybe they will start thinking about God if they see someone in this bikini. But also, like, is that the way? I don't know. So I don't know if anyone has seen this happen and is also as kind of confused about it as I am. I know everyone's searching for God because God is everything. So everyone is searching for God. They just don't know that they're searching for God. And I am kind of interested in the whole Gen Z wave and how people are going about Christianity. I don't know if I fully support using Christianity so commercially without genuinely meaning it. I think it bothers me. So yeah, that's a little bit of what I wanted to talk about. I thank you for watching and listening. If you did, I love you. I do. Have a good rest of your week. Think about this more. Also, think about becoming the right choice person. And I'll talk to you in my next episode. We may be hearing from a guest. Oh, I said the Ghana episode was up next. I got COVID. Clara came to New York City because, she wanted to come to New York City. And I was also like, come and let's record the Ghana episode. And 2 days before she comes, I find out I have COVID. So she didn't want to come near me. I 100% understand. So we had to postpone it. But still, there might be a guest next week. I think there will be. I love you. I do. And I will talk to you in my next episode. Bye-bye.